Hi everybody. I've created this class, this simple class to get you started on how to correct your bunions. And so the first thing I want to say is that, some people say theirs are hereditary. And so they just are. Other people just get them and they don't know why. And some people get them, hate the way they look, and so they have surgeries. In all of those three categories, what I always say is, you know what? So if it's your hereditary, you don't have to go there. Anything that's structural in your heredity, if you understand that it is, then you can start from a young age to make sure it doesn't happen. And if you create it yourself, you can undo it yourself. You might never get that big toe perfectly straight again, depending on your age when you start this. And if you've already had surgery, you need to learn how to break the pattern, because just because you had surgery and you straighten out that big toe does not mean that you have changed the way you walk. So you're probably still walking in that same pattern. So part of the idea of bunions is that it's a walking pattern, a standing pattern, a walking pattern of how you use your feet that has caused that. So the first thing you have to do is get mindful of that and what you can do daily in your daily standing and walking to not keep creating it, not keep perpetuating it in your body. So I want you to start with a simple walking test that we use all the time for people to see how their walking is contributing to their pattern. So I want you to see which parts of your feet that you don't use and which part are you using more to compensate for the lack of use of the other parts. So keep your feet parallel. And when I say parallel here, it's to get you to line up the outer side of your feet in a perfectly straight line, parallel with your hips. So right away, I want you to check in with your big toes. What are they doing? When you're standing on your outer feet, if you have bunions, and for most people in general, you're going to feel almost no weight into those big toes. And the joint where the bunions are pretty much won't have any weight into it, okay? So that's lesson number one. This is how you can stand to get your body weight out of that area that you have your bunions. Now I want you to go back into your normal standing pattern and see if your weight is where your bunions are, okay? So right away, that's an awareness that the way you stand can perpetuate the pattern of your bunion so that you can stand with the weight on the outsides of your feet, which lifts your arches, which takes pressure off that joint. That's just an awareness point that you can use during your day. Now let's check and see which parts of your feet you use and which you don't. So keeping your feet parallel, take 1 foot forward. Go to the outside of that foot. Can you get all the weight into that outside of your foot? Can you lower your 5th toe, your 4th toe, your 3rd toe, your 2nd toe, your 1st toe? Can you keep that knee over the ankle and the center of the foot? And now can you pick up that back heel? Can you bend the knee and roll through the entire ball of foot? Press all those 5 toes down. Feel those 5 toes, not just the big toe, on that back foot. And bring that heel forward. And go to the outside of that heel. And bend your knee and get all of your weight on that outside edge of your foot. Can you lower the 5th toe, the 4th, the 3rd, the 2nd, the 1st? Press all 5 toes down. Can you press all 5 toes down and keep your knee and ankle over your middle 3 toes? Pick up that back heel. Bend your knee. Roll through the whole ball of foot. I want you to try and press all 5 toes down on that back foot, not just the big toe, all 5 toes. Now bring that heel forward. Go to the outside of that heel. Get all of your weight on that outer foot. Lower your fifth toe if you can. The fourth, the third, the second, the first. Press all 5 toes down and keep that weight on the outer foot. So there's hardly any weight in that where you have that bunion. If that knee stays directly straight, hip, knee, ankle, middle foot. Take one more step. Heel. Go to the outside of the heel. Bend your knee, get all of your weight into that outer foot. Lower your fifth toe, fourth, third, second, first. Press all 5 toes down. Keep that hip, knee, ankle in a straight line. Okay, so for most of you, you would have noticed that when you got to the big toe, your knee wanted to go in. Okay, your knee would have taken you right in to that point where your bunion is. Okay, so the first thing is learning how to use the whole foot so that you don't keep walking into that big toe. And it might be good for somebody to video you going through the walking test, what we just did, and then your regular walking pattern so that you can really see how you walk continuously into that big toe. Because walking into the big toe involves that knee goes in, all the weight goes into that big toe, and then you go off of that point. So that's your pivotal point to bear weight into. And then over time, that poor joint can't take anymore. And the bone that's inside of the sesamoid bone pops out. Okay? Now, I want you can hold on to a chair, and I want you to take one foot behind you. So you can bend both knees. And I just want you to press. So I want you to see that you've got all 5 toes behind you pressing into the floor. So just press all 5 toes. I want you to use your strength. Press all 5 toes down, release. Press all 5 toes down, release. Press all 5 toes down, release. Pull that heel straight back. Press all 5 toes down. Okay? Now, pick up that heel again. Roll through the feet. Press all 5 toes down, release. Press the little toe down, release. Press more 4th toe down, release. Press 3rd toe down, release. 2nd, big toe. Pull back. Stand. Stand with your weight on that outer foot. And I just want you to feel that. So you're activating, you're getting the other toes activated so that you're not hitting just that big toe. So do the same thing on the other side. So just step that. So you're creating more awareness of the whole foot rather than just hitting heel, big toe. So you're bend both knees, and I want you to look back and make sure all 5 toes are on the floor. And I want you to press all 5 toes down, release. 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 Pull the heel straight back. Look and see if the heel went straight back or did it turn in. And do it one more time. Pick up the heel, roll through the ball of the foot, bend both knees so you can really press all 5 toes down. So press all 5 toes down, release. Press all 5 toes down, release. Press all 5 toes down, release. Press into the little toe, release. Press into the 4th toe, release. Press into the 3rd toe, release. Press into the 2nd toe, release. Press into the big toe, release. So when you do that, all the toes will be pressing a little bit, but I want you to keep your focus. Now pull that heel straight back and stand up. Get your weight on the outer foot and just begin to feel that. Now, we're going to use we're going to go to the wall, and we're going to use the foot savers. Now, if you don't have the foot savers, you can still do this, and we're going to do some variations of it from a seated position. So, given the fact that you're overusing your big toe, that means you're underusing the other toes. Okay, so put those little toes straight up. And I want you to bend down, and I want you to separate. Try to align the little toes, because they most likely, if the big toes are turning in, the little toes are probably turning in too from shoes. And inhale, exhale. You can hold those toes down. Press the little toes with all your strength, release. Inhale, exhale. Press those little toes, release. Inhale, exhale. Press the little toes and release. Now, as you hold them down and press, I want you to pick up the heels, press the little toes, release. Pick up the heels a little more, press the little toes, release. You can be standing up. If your toes are straight, you can inhale, lengthen up your body. Exhale, press those toes down, release. Bend your knees and lower your heels straight back. Do that to the next toe, fourth toes. And separate out the fifth toe and the third toe. Take your fingers and stretch that toe straight forward on the foot savers. Inhale, exhale, press your fourth toe straight down, release. Inhale, exhale, press the fourth toes down, release. Inhale, exhale, press, release. Now pick up your heels a little bit. Inhale, exhale, press, release. Inhale, exhale, press, release. Keep trying to lift your heels as high as you can, activating the toes. And slowly bring your heels down. And middle toes. So separate the fourth toes and the second toe. So you're trying to get movement between each toe. Inhale, you're standing on the outside edge of your foot. Press the middle toes down with all your strength. Inhale, exhale, press. The more you get the other toes activated, the less you're going to be hitting on that big toe. Inhale, exhale, press those middle toes. Keep your feet aligned. Now inhale, exhale, press the toes, pick up the heels a little bit. Inhale, lengthen your torso up. Exhale, press those toes down, pick the heels up a little more. Inhale, lift the whole front of your body. Exhale, press those middle toes down and pull your heels straight back. And now go to second toe. And I want you to really separate out third toe and first toe. Really put second toe straight up. And hold it straight. Inhale, exhale, press second toe with all your strength. Now, if you look down and the second toe is turning more to the outer side or the inner side, hold it straight. Inhale, exhale, press both toes with all your strength. Inhale, exhale, press with all your strength. Now pick up your heels a little bit. Inhale, lengthen your body up. Exhale, press, release. Inhale, lift your chest a little bit. Exhale, press, release. Inhale, lift your chest a little bit more. Exhale, press, release. Pull those heels straight back. Now bring that big toe up and separate out that second toe. And this is where you're going to have to hold that big toe. So I want you to align it. So put your finger right where the joint is. Right where that joint is. I want you to pull that toe out and push that joint in if you can. Hold that straight. Do that on both big toes. So
Pull the toe out, try to press that joint in so that it's straighter. Hold the big toe down, hold it straight. Inhale, exhale, press the big toes with all your strength. Inhale, exhale, press the big toes with all your strength. Inhale, exhale, press the big toes with all your strength. Now, inhale, exhale, press the big toes down, pick up your heels. Inhale, exhale, press the big toes down, pick up your heels more. Stand directly over your toes. Inhale, lengthen your body up. Exhale, press your toes down with all your strength. Inhale, lengthen up more. Exhale, press your big toes down with all your strength. And slowly bring your heels down. So I want you to look down at my big toes. So my big toes started turning towards the second toes as I applied strength while I was extending. Okay, so that's what you have to look for so that your toes don't do that. Okay, now, I want you to place the foot saver between, so the bottom of your foot, so the ball of the foot between the second and first toes. Okay, so right here on the back side. Okay, so I want you to use it on one foot. So you're going to put it right there, the heel lifts. Okay, let's do one side. The heel lifts. I want to make sure those two toes are separated. And I come up on the heel. Look at how I'm using the other foot. So my back is against the wall, and I'm pushing forward with my foot that's on the foot saver. Okay, and I'm releasing it. And again, I'm picking up the heel and pushing forward. So the big toe and the second toe are draping around the foot saver. Okay, and I can bring the heel down. And I pick up that heel again. I push the ball of the foot into the foot saver, spreading those toes, and bring the heel down. So use 2 fingers to spread the toes. Try to straighten that big toe out, and then pick up the heel and push forward with the ball of the foot into the foot saver, and lower your heel, and stand on that foot. So right away you feel, stand on that outer foot, you feel that there's more space between the big toe and the second toe, and there's less weight down into that big toe. And do that on the second side. So put that foot saver right between the second and the first toe, and the action is going to push this way, pushing the ball of the foot back towards the heel. So you're going to put the big toe, second toe up. You're going to lift that heel up. So you can pick up that other heel too. Lean your back, your hips on the wall. Push forward. So now my big toe's going in, so I'm going to hold it apart. Push forward and lower the heel. And push forward. I lift the heel, I push the ball of the foot forward, I lower the heel, I pick up the heel, I push forward, I lower the heel, I pick up the heel, I push forward on that foot saver, and I lower the heel, and stand. So get your weight on the outer foot, feel more space between the big toe and the second toe. Feel lighter in that joint. So now, the rest we're going to do from seated position. So I want you to, first thing I want you to do is I want you to hold that big toe straight out. I want you to take the thumb right into the joint, right where it sticks out. I want you to press it in. So look at my thumb and my index finger. My index finger's on the other side. My thumb is on the inner side of the big toe. I'm going to pull that toe out nice and straight, and I'm going to take my thumb and press that joint where the bunion is in. Okay, so I'm just going to hold that for about 15 to 20 seconds, straightening that big toe, pressing that joint in, and release. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to hold that joint from the out, right where it usually bulges out. I'm going to hold that joint super solid. Okay, so look at the close-up here. I'm going to hold that joint. I'm going to take the end of the big toe in my hand, and I'm going to press it directly into the joint. So this hand keeps that joint stable. This hand, I take the end of the big toe. I straighten out all the joints of the big toe, and I compress directly into that joint. And I hold that for about 15 to 20 seconds. And then I release and pull that joint back out. So if I pull it out and hold, go back to that first point, hold that joint on the inside. There's already more movement in there. Okay, so do it again. Hold, so from the outside, holding the outer foot, inside I'm holding that joint, and I'm extending out straight. So I'm just holding that joint, pushing it in as I extend that toe out in front of me. Now I do the opposite. I hold that joint in place, I take the tip of the big toe, and I straighten out the toe, so if it's twisted at all, I straighten it out in line with that joint, and then I compress in. So this hand is holding that joint stable, this hand is pressing down at the very, very tip of the big toe. And I'm going to hold that for about 30 seconds, stabilizing the joint, pressing the rest of the toe down in to the joint, into the bunion area, and then pull out. Hold the joint and pull out with the toe, trying to get it as straight, and you can move it a little bit as you stabilize the joint and move the rest of the toe. Okay, so then you can look down and see that it's already straighter. Now, do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to hold the joint, so my fingers are on the outside, my one hand is straightening out that toe, the big toe, and I'm pressing right where the joint is. I'm pressing it in towards the rest of the foot and just tractioning the toe out as I'm compressing at the joint. And I'm just holding it there, holding it there, holding it there, pulling that toe out straight. And then I'm doing the opposite. So I'm straightening out that toe, holding that joint super solid, so right where the bunion is, holding it solid, and then I'm at the tip of the toe, I'm compressing into the joint. So if you let go of the joint, the joint's going to stick out in the shape the bunion is. So hold that bone in and then compress down. Hold that for about 20 to 30 seconds. And then do the opposite. So then now just hold the joint and just pull that joint, pull that big toe out, and just turn it a little bit, stretch it out in front of you, and one more time. Take the thumb to the bunion, take your other fingers to the outside, squeeze them together as you traction and straighten out and traction the entire foot, the entire big toe out. So your hand is stabilizing the joint and pushing it in where it's supposed to be, while your other hand is pulling out, aligning and pulling that big toe out. And then do the opposite one more time. Hold that joint, align the big toe so it's perfectly straight. Take your fingers and push that joint in, and then compress from the tip of the toe, compress in towards the bunion. Hold that joint solid, don't let it go. Hold that for about 20 to 30 seconds. You're really straightening the toe and compressing it into the joint. And then pull it out. Hold the joint, pull it out, and see if you can stretch it out and make little circles in each direction while keeping that, pushing that joint back into straight with your other hand. And stand and feel those joints, feel those toes, see if they're a little bit straighter. And now let's work the big toes in relationship to the other toes, because as your toe starts to turn in, it's pushing on the other toes. As you're in shoes, very often you're also pushing your little toe in. Okay, so now what you're going to do is find out which is the strongest relationship between the toes and the big toe as far as keeping it in this pattern. So I want you to take the big toe on the floor, straighten it out as much as you can, push the joint in, keep that toe down. Now take the little toe and stretch it out and flatten it to the floor. And now pick up that heel as straight as you can and pull it down. And pick up that heel as straight as you can and pull it back down. And pick up the heel as straight as you can and pull it back down straight. Now pick up the heel. And now I want you to press the big toe and the fifth toe, release. Press the big toe and the fifth toe, release. Press the big toe down on the fifth toe, press them, press them, press them, press them, release. So, did you notice that the big toe and the little toe started narrowing in towards each other? If you felt that, then it's a good indication that those two toes together are what's locking the bunion pattern in. Now try fourth toe. So extend that fourth toe out straight. Extend that big toe as straight forward as you can. Hold them down. Pick up the heel. Pull that heel straight back. Pick up that heel. Pull that heel straight back. Pick up that heel. Pull that heel straight back. Now pick up the heel. Press big toe and fourth toe. Release. Press big toe and fourth toe. Release. Press big toe and fourth toe. Release. Press big toe and fourth toe. Did they want to narrow in towards each other? And lower your heel down. Now take big toe, stretch it out. Keep it as straight as you can. Flatten it out. Now take middle toe and bring it as straight as you can. You might want to veer towards the little toe or veer towards the big toe. Straighten it out as much as you can on the floor. Pick up the heel. Pull the heel down. Pick up the heel. Pull the heel down. Pick up the heel. Pull the heel down. Pick up the heel. Press big toe and third toe. Release. Press big toe and third toe. Release. Press big toe and third toe. Release. Press big toe and third toe and pull the heel straight back. Now straighten out big toe and second toe. So if your second toe is veering towards your third, pull it straight forward. Or if it's towards your, wherever it is, get it perfectly straight. Pick up your heels. Lower the heel. Pick up the heel. Lower the heel. Pick up the heel. Lower the heel. Pick up the heel. Press toe and second toe. Release. Press the big toe and second toe. Release. Press the big toe and second toe. Release. Press the big toe and second toe. Release. Pull the heel straight down. stand on that foot. Look at the big toe. Look at the other toes. Make mental note of which connection was the strongest, which toe. And it can change from one foot to the other. For me, the fourth toe and the second toe were the strongest connection to my big toe. I had to really struggle to get them to stay straight when the heel was lifted. So now do that on the other foot. Okay? So the foot that's the bunion is where you'll see that people that tend to have bunions will tend to have a similar pattern on both feet, only one will be worse. Okay, so to prevent the other one from getting worse, do this stuff. Simple to do. Okay, now let's start with the little toe. So straighten out that little toe. Very often the little toes turn in. They rotate in. So hold it straight. Take that big toe. Hold it straight. Down. Pick up the heel. Pull the heel straight back. Pick up the heel. Pull the heel straight back. Pick up the heel. Pull the heel straight back. As you're doing this, see if that joint starts wanting to go out. Hold it from the inside. Don't let it. Pick up the heel. Lower the heel. Pick up the heel. Press both toes. Release. Press. Try and press fourth and first, fifth and fourth, fifth and first. Release. Press again. Try to press fifth and first. Is there any strength? You might notice no strength. Release. Pull the heel down. Now take fourth toe. Stretch fourth toe straight out. Pull first toe straight out. Pull wherever, if the bunion is sticking out, push it in. Hold the toe. Pick up the heel. Pull the heel straight back. Pick up the heel. Pull the heel straight back. Pick up the heel. Pull the heel straight back. Pick up the heel. Press fourth and first. Release. 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 And pull that heel down. Take third toe. Straighten it out. Hold it down. Pull your big toe straight out. Hold that joint on the inside. Don't let it stick out. Straighten that big toe. Pick up your heel. Lower your heel. Pick up your heel. Lower your heel. Pick up your heel. Lower your heel. Pick up your heel. Press third toe and first toe. Release. Press third toe and first toe. Release. Press third toe and first toe together down. Release. Press third toe and first toe. Release. Pull that heel straight back. And now second toe, two. If your second toe is narrowing over to your third toe, pull it straight out. Pull it straight out, hold it down. Now do the same thing. Pull that big toe. If it's narrowing into the second toe, pull it away. Take your thumb to the joint, pull it out, stabilize it straight to the floor. So see what I'm doing? I'm holding here and then stretching that toe straight forward. Pick up the heel, pull the heel straight back. Pick up the heel, pull the heel straight back. Pick up the heel, pull the heel straight back. Pick up the heel. Now press second toe and first toe. Release. Press second toe and first toe. Release. Press second toe and first toe. Release. See if there's differences in strength. The connection between big toe and fifth toe, big toe and fourth toe, big toe and third toe. Where is there strength and where isn't there? Pick up that heel, press second toe and first, release. Pick up heel, press second toe and first. Keep that joint pushed in. Now pull that heel straight back and stand. And see how your feet are standing. See if the joints are straighter. Stand with the weight on the outside of your feet. Look down at your feet. Do the toes feel straighter? Are those big toes straighter? Now, one more thing and then we're going to review it. So I want you to sit with your toes separated and see how many fingers you can get between your big toe and your second toe. And press. So you're going to press straight in to what's called the metatarsals, right between the two bones. So you're going to press between the two, and you're going to pull that big toe out. Okay, so I can do it this way. So I press down between the two, so it's creating space between the metatarsals, and then I stretch that big toe out. So I'm just going to hold that for about 30 seconds. So if that big toe is narrowing in, I'm pulling it out, pressing that joint, and pressing between second and first toes. And holding that for about 20 to 30 seconds. And release. And do that on the other foot. So bring your fingers, and you might be able to only get one finger, okay, but you want to get as much width between them as possible. So that's why you use those toe separators. They've got things you can put between your big toe and second toe, but these are things you can specifically do on your own. Press, take that big toe. If the joint is sticking out, press in with that, press into that joint. Now pull out. Now use your hand to pull, straighten that big toe out, and pull as those fingers are pressing between your first and second toes. And just hold that for about 20 to 30 seconds. And if you start to do these things that we did every day or every other day, it'll make a big difference. And release. And stand. And feel that there's more space now between the big toe and the second toe. There's more space between all of the toes, and they're stacking straighter. They're not curving out. Now, so let's review. When you stand on the outside of your feet, you're not putting weight into the bunion. When you're standing on the outside of your feet with your feet parallel, with the weight on the outsides of your feet, you're not putting weight directly into where the bunion is. This is in all of the foot education, okay? But it's very key so that you stop standing and walking where you're bearing weight there. Now, when you walk, there's so much more of your feet that you can use than just going heel and hitting into that big toe joint and pivoting all your body weight off of it. Okay, so do the walking test, learn how to use every part of your feet. You can use the foot fitness education with the Wakers to get mobility and movement through every part of your foot. You can do the detailed work with the foot savers. So then we strengthened, we separated out each toe, strengthened and stretched each one. And then did specific focus on the big toes and their relationships to just how you impact and pull out, stabilizing that joint, and then the big toe and its relationship to all the other toes. So all the bunion work that I showed you, which is very basic, very simple, if you do it, there'll be a change. But you have to do the work. You have to stay mindful. That's the biggest message in the bunion information is you can't keep walking into the same pattern. Okay? Can't. So start working on it and write to me and let me know how you're doing. If you have any questions, let me know how you're doing. Yamuna at yamunausa.com. Thank you.
And yes, we will be doing a hammer toe class and plantar fasciitis class and all the various focuses when it comes to the feet. So the answer is yes. Yes to Taylor's bunion also works, same way.